All right, so today we're diving deep into a topic that, well, let's face it, impacts all of us in one way or another.
That's right.
Sex education.
Yeah, definitely a topic that's worth more than just a quick, birds and bees talk.
Oh, absolutely. We're going way beyond the basics here.
Got to do it.
And we've got some really interesting sources lined up that are going to help us debunk some of those myths and taboos that still, surprisingly, surround this topic.
It's amazing how many misconceptions there are out there, even in this day and age.
It really is, and it's important to remember that sex ed isn't just about, well, sex.
Right. It's about so much more.
It's about empowering people with knowledge that can shape their health, relationships, and really their entire lives.
Couldn't agree more. Knowledge really is power when it comes to sexual health and well-being.
One of the things that really stood out to me from the material we've been looking at
Yeah.
is that sex education isn't just about, the act itself.
Yeah, what do you mean?
It's about understanding ourselves, our bodies, and how to navigate relationships in a healthy and informed way.
Exactly. It's about the whole
Mm.
picture.
Like, think about it, understanding our anatomy and physiology.
Mhm.
It's like having the owner's manual to your own body.
It is.
You learn how things work, what's normal, and when you might need to, seek help.
Right. And that knowledge gives you the confidence to advocate for your own health, to make informed decisions about your body and your health care.
And then you've got consent, which is such a fundamental part of any healthy relationship,
Yeah.
whether it's sexual or not.
Couldn't agree more.
It's about mutual understanding, respect, and ensuring that everyone feels safe and comfortable.
It's about communication, really.
Yes, communication is key.
Being able to express your boundaries and respecting the boundaries of others.
One of the sources actually made the point that consent education should start way before we even talk about sex.
Oh, that's interesting. How so?
Well, like teaching kids to respect personal space,
Okay, yeah.
like, sharing toys or even hugging someone.
Makes sense.
That lays the groundwork for healthy relationships as they grow up.
It's like building those foundational skills.
Right. It's all connected.
Yeah, it all starts with respect, really.
Exactly. And then, of course, there's safe sex practices, which are crucial for protecting yourself and your partners.
Knowledge about contraception, STIs, and how to practice safe sex
Right.
can literally be life-saving.
Absolutely. One of the reports we read from the CDC stated that consistent condom use can reduce the risk of HIV transmission by, get this, up to 80%.
That's a huge number.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's not just about the physical risks either.
Right.
Comprehensive sex ed should also address the emotional and psychological aspects of sex and relationships.
It's all connected, right?
Exactly. It's not just about the mechanics. It's about understanding your feelings, navigating attraction, heartbreak, all of that.
Learning how to build healthy, fulfilling relationships, that's a big part of it, too.
One expert we were reading talked about how important it is to teach young people about, recognizing those unhealthy relationship patterns.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like, they suggested using real-life examples or even fictional ones from books or movies
Oh, yeah?
to spark conversations about, red flags,
Uh-huh.
communication breakdowns,
Right.
setting boundaries.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
It's all about equipping them with the tools they need to navigate those complexities.
Absolutely. And sometimes those complexities can stem from, the myths and taboos surrounding sex.
Oh, for sure. Those definitely don't help.
Right, which is why it's so important to debunk them and replace those misconceptions with facts.
What are some of the most common myths you've come across in your work?
I'm really curious about that.
Well, one that comes up a lot is this idea that talking about sex will actually encourage young people to become sexually active sooner.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that one too.
But research consistently shows the opposite. Yeah, a landmark study in the American Journal of Public Health actually found that teenagers who received comprehensive sex education were more likely to delay sexual activity and to use protection when they did become sexually active.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's actually the opposite of what people think.
Exactly. It's about providing them with the information and tools to make responsible choices, not pushing them one way or the other.
So it's about empowerment, really.
Exactly. And it can be hard for parents and educators to know how to approach these conversations,
Right. It can be a sensitive topic.
But our sources really emphasized starting those conversations early
Yeah, makes sense.
and creating a safe space for open dialogue,
Right. It doesn't have to be this one big formal talk, does it?
No, not at all.
You can weave it into everyday life.
Exactly.
Answer questions honestly.
And age appropriately, of course.
Of course.
And just let kids know that they can come to you with anything.
You were telling me about your niece and how you've been approaching these conversations with her.
Oh, yeah. It all started with her asking, the classic question of where babies come from.
Right.
And that led to conversations about reproduction, puberty, and eventually even relationships.
That's great.
We used books, age-appropriate videos, even just those car ride conversations.
Oh, yeah, those can be great.
It became just a natural part of our relationship,
That's fantastic. It shows how you can build that trust and openness over time.
Exactly. And, there are so many resources available beyond this deep dive.
Absolutely.
There are trusted websites, books, and of course, healthcare professionals who can provide accurate information and support.
Definitely. It's important to seek out reliable sources.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up here, what's the main takeaway we want our listeners to remember from today's conversation?
Well, I think the big takeaway is that comprehensive sex education is truly an investment in the future.
It is, for sure.
Not just for individuals, but for society as a whole. It's about empowering people with knowledge, fostering those healthy relationships, and breaking down harmful stigmas.
Right. It's about creating a world where everyone has the information they need to navigate their sexual health and well-being confidently and safely.
Absolutely.
It's about changing the conversation, really.
It is, and I think it's worth leaving our listeners with this thought.
Go ahead.
How might our world be different
Hmm.
if everyone had access to comprehensive, inclusive sex education?
Wow, that's a powerful question.
Right, from a young age.
It really make you think.
It does.
Thanks for joining us today, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
And remember, knowledge really is power when it comes to making informed choices about your life.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And we'll see you next time.